Kimi Antonelli's championship lead is about to collapse, and the data shows exactly when it will happen. 5 wins, 5 poles, records falling every weekend. The narrative has calcified. This is his year. The kid is untouchable. Mercedes nailed the regulations, and a 19-year-old is about to walk away with the most dominant rookie title campaign in Formula One history. That narrative is wrong. Not because Antonelli isn't brilliant, he is, but because championships are not won in early summer. They are lost when the European season grinds on, when the development war begins, when teammates stop playing nice, and when the pressure of a lead transforms from a cushion into a target. Right now, Antonelli is standing at the top of the mountain with 4 separate forces climbing toward him from 4 different directions, and at least one of them is going to reach him before the season ends. The question is not whether Antonelli can win. The question is whether he can survive what is coming. The first threat is the one he sees every morning in the same garage. George Russell just won the Austrian Grand Prix. Clean weekend, pole position, led every lap. No mechanical failures, no radio messages about power unit issues, no misfortune, just pace. The same Russell who spent the first third of the season watching his car break underneath him while his teenage teammate collected trophies finally got a weekend where nothing went wrong. And he won. This is the threat that championship leaders fear most, because it cannot be dismissed as machinery. Russell and Antonelli drive the same car, the same energy recovery system, the same chassis, the same engine mapping. When Russell wins, there is no asterisk. It is a direct comparison between 2 drivers in identical equipment. And that comparison just delivered a verdict Antonelli cannot ignore. Rewind to Canada. Russell started on pole. He and Antonelli spent 30 laps trading the lead in one of the most aggressive intra-team battles the sport has seen in years. Wheel to wheel, corner after corner, neither giving an inch. Then Russell's power unit failed on lap 30 while leading the race. He climbed out of the car in visible disbelief. Then he said something that should terrify anyone betting on an Antonelli runaway. "It feels like somebody doesn't want me to fight for this championship. Right now, it's his to lose." That was not graciousness. That was frustration dressed as honesty. And the subtext was clear. Russell does not believe Antonelli is faster than him. He believes he has been unlucky. And now, with the Austrian win proving he can deliver when the car holds together, the psychological dynamic inside that garage has shifted. Russell is no longer Antonelli's supportive teammate. He is a man who believes the championship was taken from him by mechanical failure, and who just got proof that when both cars finish, he can beat the kid everyone has anointed. The teammate threat is structural. It does not require Russell to beat Antonelli every weekend. It requires him to beat Antonelli often enough that the points gap begins to shrink, that the questions begin to mount, that the pressure of a title fight becomes internal rather than external. That is the most destabilizing kind of pressure in Formula One. It is the kind that got to Sebastian Vettel in 2014 when Daniel Ricciardo arrived. It is the kind that broke the relationship between Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. And it is the kind that is now gathering inside the Mercedes garage with every race Russell finishes ahead. But Russell isn't the threat that should terrify Antonelli most. The second threat is 800 kilometers south of Brackley, in Maranello, where Ferrari is building something that should not be possible this deep into a regulation cycle. They call it the hot engine. The official designation is Project 678, but inside the factory, the name that has stuck tells you everything about what Ferrari is attempting. Standard Formula One engines operate with combustion chamber temperatures around 70 degrees Celsius during optimal performance windows. Ferrari's new steel alloy cylinder heads developed in partnership with a materials division that normally supplies aerospace contracts, are designed to run at 110 degrees, 40 degrees hotter, 40 degrees beyond the thermal ceiling that every other engine on the grid is engineered for. The physics of this are not subtle. Higher combustion temperatures mean more efficient fuel burn. More efficient fuel burn means more power from the same displacement. Shell has developed a custom fuel formulation specifically for this engine architecture, one that resists pre-detonation at temperatures that would make standard pump fuel ignite before the piston reaches the top of its stroke. The result is a power gain of 7 to 10 horsepower without changing a single other component on the car. But that is not the real story. The real story is what Ferrari is planning for Monza. Phase 2 of the hot engine program is a redesigned turbocharger unit that can sustain the higher thermal load through an entire race distance. At Austria, the Phase 1 prototype choked at altitude. The thinner air at the Red Bull Ring, 700 meters above sea level, starved the turbo of the oxygen density it needed to maintain boost pressure. Hamilton lost an estimated 15 horsepower throughout the race, and the overheating forced Ferrari to pull back on engine mapping till halfway through the second stint. The weekend was a low point, but Austria was never the target. Monza is the target. Sea level, Ferrari's home race. A circuit where horsepower matters more than any other on the calendar. And a Phase 2 turbo upgrade that engineers are projecting will deliver a 30 horsepower leap over the current specification. Ferrari has committed to 32 aerodynamic and mechanical upgrades across the 2026 season. Mercedes has committed to 17. That disparity is not a footnote, it is a strategy. Ferrari is betting that it can outdevelop Mercedes through the European summer, that the gap Antonelli has built in the first third of the season can be erased, not by a single breakthrough, but by a relentless accumulation of marginal gains. Every upgrade that closes the gap by 0.2 of a second is a race where Antonelli's advantage shrinks. And 32 upgrades represent a lot of 0.2. The driver receiving those upgrades is the third threat, and he is the one the paddock is most reluctant to talk about. Lewis Hamilton is 41 years old. He left Mercedes after 2 seasons without a win. The narrative around his Ferrari move was that the 7-time champion was chasing a sunset. A romantic final chapter at the sport's most romantic team, competing for podiums, waving to the tifosi, closing out a career that had already achieved everything. That narrative was wrong. Hamilton did not move to Ferrari to wave at crowds. He moved to Ferrari to win an 8th championship. And everything Ferrari has done since his arrival, the 32 upgrades, the hot engine program, the thermal materials partnership, the custom fuel formulation, has been done in service of that single objective. Hamilton cannot match Antonelli's raw pace advantage right now. The Mercedes is the faster car, and even a perfectly driven Ferrari does not close that gap on merit alone. But championships are not won on merit alone. They are won on consistency, on extracting maximum points from weekends where the car is not the fastest, on applying pressure to a championship leader who has never led a Formula One championship before. Antonelli is navigating territory that is entirely new to him. Hamilton has navigated it in 10 of his 17 seasons. He knows exactly when to push, when to wait, and when to force a mistake. And in a development war where Ferrari is throwing resources at the car at nearly twice the rate of Mercedes, the gap in machinery is not static, it is narrowing. If it narrows enough by the time the calendar reaches Singapore in October, Hamilton, in a car that can genuinely compete, is not a sentimental storyline. It is a genuine championship threat. Even if Antonelli survives his teammate and Ferrari, the calendar itself is about to turn against him. The fourth threat is not a driver or a team. It is the schedule. Formula One championships are not distributed evenly across a season. The first several races of 2026 favoured circuits where Mercedes' energy recovery advantage translated directly into lap time. Long straights, heavy braking zones, the kind of stop-start layout where harvesting, under-braking and deploying on exit creates separation. Antonelli won China, Japan, Miami, Canada and Monaco. Every one of those circuits plays to the Mercedes package. The European summer is different. Hungary is a maximum downforce circuit where engine power matters less than aerodynamic efficiency through medium-speed corners. Belgium is a power circuit, but at altitude, where Ferrari's turbo will face the same oxygen density problem it encountered in Austria. Except Spa is longer, faster, and more punishing on engine components than the Red Bull Ring. Zandvoort is a driver's circuit, all commitment and high-speed change of direction. The kind of place where experience in a difficult car outweighs raw pace in a good one. Then Monza, where Ferrari's Phase 2 turbo will arrive with a 30-horsepower upgrade and a home crowd that has waited 17 years since its last Italian champion. If Antonelli navigates that stretch with his championship lead intact, the title is his. But the arithmetic is not on his side. A single retirement, a collision at the start, a power unit failure, a mistake under pressure can erase 25 points in one afternoon. 2 bad weekends and the lead is gone. 3 and he is chasing. And chasing is not the same as leading. Chasing means taking risks you would not take from the front. And risk-taking is how young drivers in championship fights make the mistakes that define those fights. Max Verstappen does not have the fastest car in 2026. That much is clear, but Verstappen does not need the fastest car to be dangerous. He needs the car to be close enough, and it is close enough. Red Bull is third in the Constructors' Championship, behind Mercedes and Ferrari, but ahead of McLaren and Aston Martin. In a fight where 3 teams are separated by fractions of a second, Verstappen is the chaos agent. He is the driver who will take a gap that does not quite exist, who will defend a position with aggression that forces the driver behind to choose between yielding and crashing, who thrives in the kind of wheel-to-wheel combat that championship leaders spend entire races trying to avoid. Antonelli has raced Verstappen hard. Brazil, 2025. His breakout defensive drive, holding off the 4-time champion for 15 laps to secure second place. But racing Verstappen hard when you are 7th in the championship is not the same as racing him hard when you are leading it. The stakes are different, the calculus is different, and Verstappen knows exactly how to exploit the difference. Every time Antonelli sees a Red Bull in his mirrors, he faces a decision. Yield the position and protect the championship, or fight and risk a collision that could end his afternoon. It is a decision Hamilton faced for years, and it is one that Verstappen has weaponized better than any driver since Ayrton Senna. There is a version of this season where Antonelli wins the championship before Abu Dhabi, where Mercedes' advantage holds, where the upgrades keep pace with Ferraris, where Russell's challenge fades, where the chaos never arrives. That version exists. It is not fantasy. Antonelli is the most talented rookie the sport has seen in a generation, sitting in the fastest car, with a championship lead and 5 wins already on the board. The numbers support him. But Formula One history does not reward leads built in spring. It rewards leads that survive summer. The 2026 championship is not being decided race by race. It is being decided in a development laboratory in Maranello, where engineers are running thermal simulations on steel alloy, cylinder heads at 110 degrees. It is being decided in the mind of George Russell, who has just proved that when the car works, he can beat the kid everyone says is unbeatable. It is being decided by a 41-year-old 7-time champion who has bet his entire legacy on a Ferrari project that is finally beginning to deliver. And it is being decided by whether a 19-year-old who has never led a championship before can continue to lead one as the walls begin to close. The championship lead is real, but the forces trying to destroy it are just as real, and at least one of them is going to reach him. Which threat do you think breaks Antonelli first? Russell's redemption arc? Ferrari's engineering war? Hamilton's experience? Or his own mistakes under pressure? Drop your prediction in the comments.